The life of a dog. Anyway, we're in a veggie garden here. You saw the puppies playing there. They love to play. And I'm going to go and inspect the damage after the wind. We got rid of the silver beet. Quickly, come along, have a look. Watch your step here because we've got a moat going on here. This is a good tip for a lot of people who are struggling with water in their garden beds. This water here isn't just the rain, but it's actually the water seeping out from the higher levels, draining into there. So my garden beds are actually draining away beautifully. We'll check the soil in a second, but let's go and have a look at the silver beet. Oh bugger, I left some of them behind. My bad. Heat's got to them. So I cut these back. This is not how I finish them off. It was quickly because I was harvesting. But look what you find underneath the wonderful beds of silver beet. Look at all this. Carcasses here, or the shells of the snails. They don't just die like that, folks. They die because we put some Eradicate Eco down. That's a snail bait, safe for wildlife animals and pets, but dangerous to the snails and slugs. So they're the ones who are actually causing the damage. If you find, you know, that's slimy, leafy plant, or the plant going to a little bit of slime at the bottom of the leaves, that's because your snails are getting into them. That's because your snails are getting into them. And just like here, I think we may have had a snail here, or that's actually because the bok choy, or the bak choy, was in the way here. See that slimy? Yeah, so we've got grubs in there. We've got all sorts of grubs. And that's what causes it to go slimy. So inspect your plants. They don't just do that for no reason. More than likely there's a little bit of a pest going on. A few more to harvest over there. A few more over there. Yeah, it's the harvesting season, folks. And look at that, the sun's out. Quick, don't blink because it'll go away. Oh, just another one. Look at this. I planted a capsicum here probably 3 weeks ago, maybe 4. As an indicator, I plant a lot of capsicums, but before I start planting, I check out the soil, the garden bed, and obviously the microclimate, and you all know how bad it is out here. So this capsicum here has been in there for almost a month, and it's doing well, it's growing, but mind you, the endive and the silver beet weren't there when I first planted it. That's how fast they've grown, but this is still holding on really well. A snail or slug has had a go at the leaf here, but that's nothing to worry about. So that tells me that this garden bed is warm enough, and it's actually good enough for me to plant some more capsicums. So all the cos lettuce, and this is a field of lettuce. You know, if I'm going to beat it to death, this is what I'm going to tell you. Grow your own bloody lettuce. This is cos here, folks, self-sown on its own, sprouting up everywhere. We harvest as we need a little bit each day, and I take out the roots and all, otherwise it'll just get too congested. So grow some lettuce, and once you finish with it, take it out, top dress it with a bit of planting mix, and plant away your veggies. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be planting some basil. I'm using the big lettuce leaf basil. Now these here got hit again by a slug. They got into the punnets, underneath the punnets, and sort of creeped up. There's none in here now. And ate a couple of the basil plants. Now basil lettuce leaf, each leaf, see that leaf there? Each leaf grows the size of almost a dinner plate. You know, that size there, it's huge. Really pungent in the smell, flavour and everything. So I'm going to plant some of these. There's a few in here that I can salvage. I've also got some Thai basil, which is nice and aromatic, and some purple leaf basil here, some quinette, or sapphire in this case here. That's what we're planting. Now I'm putting this in between my tomatoes in here, and I'm going to have to put some snail bait as well. Wait a second, I've got some more basil here. I've got some more lettuce leaf basil here. Look at that. How nice is that, the leaf on that? Beautiful. Oh, and dill. Time to put some dill in, and I'm salvaging these beans. These are dwarf beans. We've got some purples. I didn't bring any greens. Yes, I did. I got some yellow ones, sorry, not green ones. So I'm going to salvage these and stick them in. Little dwarf beans, pop them in between the gaps there to get them going. And some early corn. Well, for me, it's early. And I'm also going to sow my own seeds there as well. Some super sweet seeds I'm putting down of corn, and some early ones like that. We'll see which ones grow the quickest. Get this. Oh, and the snail bait. Where's the snail bait? Now, one thing I haven't done is finish tying up these tomatoes. Come and have a look at this. We were here yesterday talking about the high winds. Yeah, look at me, I don't finish my work. I always do things at half jobs. Look at that, broken, completely broken. What am I sitting on there? Let's cut this off. This is Big George's tomato, or George's big tomato. That's gone. Now you can, well not this one, it's already dehydrated, but you can do cuttings, folks. If you've got a really good looking tomato, taking off really well, those little laterals that you take off, just pop them in straight into the ground next to it, and I guarantee you most of them, if not all of them, will take, and you'll have multiple tomatoes. So one plant will give you multiple. You know what? Yeah, gone. It's gone, it's rotted out. Gone. Bugger me. Just in case, huh? No, they're taken. See what's happened? No leaf on it, and it started to rot out. So, now folks, for those who haven't seen me talking about these before, these are Lebanese or long green, you know, the burpless ones. Either way, one of the two. They favoured one of the two. And they were chewed off, that is what I'm talking about, are the leaves. They were taken off by a pest, leaving nothing, just a stalk. No photosynthesis, and you can see dieback there, all the way down, it's killed off the plant. So these weren't going to grow. Let's replace the 2 cucumbers here. We've cut back the tomato. We need to tie these up now to protect them. Clean the bottoms off these, top them up with soil, and plant some basil, some dill, and put some Eradicate Eco snail bait down. Otherwise, we're not going to have anything left here tomorrow. Let's get to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to alternate between the tomatoes. I wish I had some marigolds. I didn't bring any. They're actually good companion plants as well. So we're going to put basil. I'll put a couple of clumps of basil there. Every second gap, it's going to be basil, and in between I'm putting dill. So basil, dill, basil, dill, basil, dill. I haven't got any bucket of water. I don't want to take the soil off these ones. They're still delicate. We're talking dill here. You know, the dill's very thin. There's hundreds of plants in here. I'd love to separate them all, but it's not going to happen. So we sacrifice, we plant in clumps. Oh, we've got the thermometer in here. What's the reading? Still 16 degrees? Yeah, 16 degrees. Oh, the dill's going there. So basil dill, basil dill. I've got to get some capsicums in here too. I just can't have all that. I thought I got rid of all the potatoes. Look at this. Ah, how far down are you? Look at that. Another potato. Stay there. We've got another one here. Another potato. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. I don't need any more. Oh, come on, I broke. You're too small. Move, move. It's just, can you get out of, can you get out of my way, mate? He doesn't listen to me, man. He really doesn't listen to me. Get out of the way. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 1. Anybody want a potato? I don't need any more potatoes, folks, because God knows I've got plenty growing everywhere else. So this can get out of here. Out you go for now. Really? Grass? It's just growing from the outside. Anyway, dill. Our planting mix. Have a look at it. This is what I mean about the drainage over there. All that rain we've had, it's raised. You can raise your beds, folks. If you've got existing garden beds and they're struggling, at least if you just put some planting mix and cocoa pith on top, that's all you need to do. And that will give it the drainage it needs. All right, I'm not pressing it down too much because we've got a trench down the side there as well. See that little trench down there? Don't worry about the weeds, they're not a big issue. It's the water that I'm really concerned about. It drains away. So, as you can see, it's cracked away there because I got a bit of a gap on there, so we've lost a little bit of soil, but that's no big deal because the retaining wall's not built perfectly. Built like a Greek. Well, not built by a Greek. Built like a Greek is totally different there, folks. You know that. And basil. Lettuce leaf. And dill. I love using a cultivator. I love it because it just loosens it up. See the cocoa pith, how it comes up? And when you dig it through like that, really good for it. Good drainage. You can see my soil. If you want to know what the secret is to growing healthy plants, it's our planting mix. Simple as that. And if it's too boggy for you for the pots, mix in some cocoa pith. So 50-50 cocoa pith planting mix, you ain't going to go wrong. Now last year, those of you who've been following me for a year or 2 years will know that I bought in some soil from a local garden supplies, and no disrespect to those guys because they don't make it, they just buy it in. And I had a horrible season. We're talking about last springtime. My plants in the beds that I actually put it in over there and those ones over there, they struggled. I got really poor results out of it. This year from winter, started using my own blend, and we've been working on this blend with a mate of mine, and it's come up a treat, and you can see it for yourself. The proof's in the pudding. Plants are growing no matter what conditions we have. The only problems we have is if they get blown over, because I didn't finish tying them up, like these tomatoes here. So they need to be tied up. And yes, I am risking my basil, but I've had this basil acclimatised. So if you're buying seedlings from your local garden centre and they're undercover, and we've got some undercover as well at our place, that means they're a little bit soft. We're protecting them because they get beaten to death and they try to compete against the sun or the wind and all that and the harsh conditions, so they start looking a little bit ratty outside. That's, you know, for selling purpose, it doesn't look good. So if you give them a little bit of protection, keeps them well and strong and healthy, that's good. But when you take them out from that environment, you take them home to a completely different microclimate, they'll freak out. And that's typical. It's like you going in from a sauna room, running outside to the icy cold. I know some say that's great for your metabolism and all that, but not for your, you know, the shock treatment that you go through, and that's what happens to a plant. It's not designed for that. It's designed to acclimatise and grow through a long period of stable weather, whether it's hot or cold or intermediate. Now these tomatoes have been hardened off, and that's what I'm saying about this basil here. This basil has been here for the last 3 or 4 days, sitting in the trolley out there, in its punnet, as you saw earlier, copping the wind, the brunt of the weather, as we have been copping here already. If it wasn't going to be happy, it would have curled over and died. And now that it's acclimatised to some degree, I'm popping it in the ground. It should be fine. I haven't done anything else. I separated it carefully, popped it in the ground. Similar climate, if not better here, with a bit of rain, as we can feel right now coming through. And if it does go to black, it's because the technology here doesn't suit the rain. They don't work together really well. Mr. Cameron's staying, folks. He reckons the rain's not going to come. He's going to take the risk, so we can finish all our planting and show you what it looks like. Now, we've got cooch growing in here. We've got nasturtiums popping up every year in the same spot. So I reckon in about a month's time we won't be able to see this basil over here. The nasturtium would have grown all over it. But everything else is looking good, hey? Even those little tomatoes are big malakas in the little white wax papers. Now, the only thing that's going to eat all these really quick are snails. So we put some down, folks, because I don't need any more death here by ignorance. And I'm using Eco Eradicate, or Eradicate Eco, my apologies, that's the proper name of it, Eradicate Eco. This is a 2.5 kilo box. We're out of stock of that. I've only got the last bag here. We're going to get some more in stock soon, folks. All things going well. And you'll be able to get the 2.5. We've got the 1 kilos on special as well. Safe for wildlife animals, not that you're going to feed it to them. Just so you know, peace of mind that if your pets get to them, you know, trials have been shown that it's quite safe for them, not that they should be eating it, so keep them away from it as best you can. So folks, successive planting is what it's all about. I've still got a few more things to plant, so you get out there and start planting. You've got the weather behind you and it's not raining on you. Get out there and enjoy a little bit of gardening and maintenance. Always do some maintenance on your plants. The more you look after them, the better they're going to give you the results at the end with the fruit that you need. Check out our website, vasili'sgarden.com. Our spring run out sale is still on till the end of the month. Don't miss out. Up to 75% off all your garden essentials. Everything's discounted, and we're running some bonus sales throughout every day. vasili'sgarden.com. Coburg's open, and Lethbridge for pickup, click and collect. Until tomorrow, from me, Vasili, Maresi.